Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome back to another powerful episode of the Season of Self-Love podcast. I'm your host, Nyomi Banks, and this week has absolutely been very transformative. And before we dive in, I want to share something that touched my heart deeply. You see, this morning I received a beautiful letter from one of our listeners, and I want to share it with you all because it really struck a chord with me. And the letter reads, "Hey there, I hope that you're doing great. I just wanted to share how much I love Monday's episode. The discussion about fear versus faith that Nyomi brought up was so powerful, and Dr. Will's insight really added to it all. I really connected with that conversation, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. I often find myself trying to balance my fears with my faith, and I really found the perspective shared to be both enlightening and inspiring. I'm really curious about what steps can I take right now to build my faith and tackle the fears that are holding me back. What are some practical strategies or exercises that you recommend for someone looking to use these concepts in their everyday life? I'd love to hear any tips that you or your guests have found helpful. Thanks a bunch for the amazing content that you share every week, and I can't wait to hear more from you and your awesome guests. Best wishes." First of all, I want to say thank you for that beautiful letter. And you know, when I read this letter this morning, I had it at the altar, and it just confirmed exactly what today's episode needed to be about. You see, because this journey between fear and faith, that is something that we all are walking together. You see, this is exactly why we do this work. You see, this week we explored mindfulness with Dr. Will, and we discovered the power of declaring our winning season, right? And then we witnessed Ben's incredible journey from addiction to purpose. You see, there's a common thread that's running through all of these conversations, and that's the dance between fear and faith. But before we go deeper, let's take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back. Hey, it's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. By bridging the gap between them all. And we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG group. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, before we go deeper, let's take a moment to just center ourselves, all right? All right. So I want you to find a comfortable position, and if you are in a safe space, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Now hold it for a moment and release slowly through your mouth. Now I want you to think about a fear that's been living in your heart. Don't push it away. Instead, I want you to welcome it like an old friend who has something to teach you. I want you to feel where this fear lives in your body. Is it in your chest, your stomach, or your throat? Now I want you to imagine your faith as a warm golden light. I want you to let it surround that fear, not to eliminate it, but to help transform it. I want you to remember what Dr. Will taught us. The fear is future. Fear is future, but faith is present. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes. Now, if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something that we do every day, Monday through Friday. It's just to help to ground us before we get into the topic at hand. All right, my beautiful people. So, excuse me. When we talk about fear in meeting faith, we're not talking about eliminating fear. That's not what it's all about. I want you to remember what Dr. Will said on Monday, that fear can be an ally. And I want you to think about Ben's story from yesterday about his fear of staying in addiction. It became a catalyst for his transformation. So let me share something personal with you all. This week, as I was sitting at the altar, I was reflecting on how fear has shown up in my life, in my own life. And you know what I realized? Every time fear showed up, it was actually pointing me towards something I needed to grow into. I want you to think about this. Fear shows up when we're about to step into something bigger than what we've known before. It shows up when we're about to break generational cycles. It shows up when we're about to claim our power. But here's the beautiful truth. That's exactly where faith comes in. Faith isn't about not being afraid. Faith is about knowing that something bigger than your fear is guiding you. You know what, my beautiful people? Now I want to talk about what happens when fear meets faith. There are 3 truths, and I want you to hold on to, all right? Number 1, your fear has a message. Dr. Will taught us this week about chasing the rabbit, following our thoughts to understand them. So when fear shows up, it's often carrying a message about what we need to heal and what we need to grow into or what we need to release. And the second truth is faith is in practice. Remember what we learned about winning mindset on Tuesday. That is not about waiting to feel victorious, but it's about declaring your victory even when everything looks like you're losing. Faith works the same way, and it's about wanting to feel faithful. It's about closing. And it's about choosing faith even when fear is loud. And the third one is transformation. This happens in the meeting. Think about Ben's story. His transformation didn't come from eliminating his struggles. It came from meeting them with something stronger. That's what happened when fear meets faith. You see, we don't eliminate the fear. We transform it into fuel for our growth. Now, my beautiful people, when I want to speak directly to our listener who wrote that beautiful letter, and to all of you who are navigating this dance between fear and faith right now. You're not alone in this journey. Again, I want you to remember what Dr. Will said about mindfulness. It's not just about being still. It's about being present with whatever shows up. You see, when fear shows up, be present with it. When faith feels small, be present with that too. So your homework for today is simple but profound. Each morning, I want you to acknowledge one fear that's present. One fear that's present. Then I want you to find the message it's carrying for you. And then third, I want you to choose one act of faith in response to that message. And I would love for you to share your journey with us using hashtag Season of Self-Love and hashtag Threshold Thursday. And I want you to remember that your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Now, my beautiful people, I know this is a short and sweet episode, but I just want you to keep remembering. Have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for yourself. But not only that, have faith and believe in yourself. So until tomorrow's Freedom Friday, I want you to remember that your fear is not a weakness. It is not a weakness. It's an invitation to discover your truth. Your faith doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be present. And you, my beautiful people, are stronger than any threshold before you. So again, have an amazing, amazing day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovering and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.